particular graphic, but points in the paint, they've dominated, done a great job, but they've had those turnovers, those 9 turnovers they want to be able to get, or 8 turnovers, excuse me, you want to get those back. It's led to 9 ECU points, and ECU played so well in that last 10-minute stretch against Cincinnati. So this team is capable of really going off. They've won their last 2 games, SMU and Cincinnati, so big half to watch coming up.
ECU was down by 16 to those Bearcats, came back and won 75-71. The deficit not quite as difficult right now. Only by 7 entering these final 20 minutes.
Always different energy when you're playing at home, but great job continuing to feed the big fella inside. Great drive by Nuttall, touching the paint. Again, big key for SMU, continuing to touch the paint.
OTG like good NBA on one end. His fellow number 23, Brandon Johnson, with the and one for the Pirates.
In honor of the NBA All-Star game, maybe that's where the continuation game is.
What do you think of this format tonight, by the way?
Yeah, I think the NBA is always trying to find a way to get people to tune in. So the format that's new is the captains don't pick their team until an hour before tip-off. So you don't know which players on which All-Star team, Team Giannis and Team LeBron, as it's been for, I think, the last, since they started the setup, it's been just those 2 captains.
It's the ultimate pickup game.
It is the ultimate pickup game. Kind of got to love it, right?
Driving towards the hoop. It makes you want to tune in. I like the throwing out different ideas. I like not having to stick to the old ways of doing things.
Yeah.
And you saw that yesterday with Dame putting on the Weber State jersey in the three-point contest.
Yeah,
you know,
awesome.
the old stodgy guard might say, no, you can't do that. You have to have our brand, the jerseys we can sell.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, and it's just great. And he's in Utah. He went to school in Utah. He's in Utah, so kind of you can't say no to that. It's great for the mid-major level to be able to get some love when a guy like Damian Lillard, not only did he wear this jersey, but he won the contest. So awesome. Yeah, the NBA is evolving to being a little more open-minded. And meanwhile, Mr. Smith gets to the line to put SMU up. Just one more point, and great extra effort play again. We've been talking about it.
Second chance points. Can't knock it down, and SMU has to get back on defense. Pirates pull up, and getting in the way of that one was Phelps. He will finish. The steal and the jam. SMU leads by 10.
Yeah, just love the spirit and the energy that SMU is playing with, and Phelps really hasn't changed his demeanor all game long. You know, early in the year, you saw kind of some highs and some lows and some visible frustration that happens in the game, but now you see him just kind of being a much more cool, calm, and collected customer.
Out on the baseline, will stay with the Pirates. Another look at Phelps with a rip and finish.
One of the best thieves in this conference, and not only is he great at getting steals, but he loves to be able to play above the rim. Nice job. Defense leading the offense, and SMU has got off to a great start in the second half.
To the bucket, up and under, no good for Jaden Walker. He'll head to the free throw line. Walker had just 2 points in the initial matchup between these teams. He went 1 for 7 from the field, but a career high 8 assists. So still affecting the game in a positive way when shots weren't falling.
Yeah, just kind of one of those players that coach has talked about is just a guy that wants to do what it takes to win. Really is impressed with the way he stepped in and found teammates in the last 2 games. And tonight he's been a little more aggressive offensively. Able to get, almost got an and one on that nice reverse and connects from the free throw line just there.
(40-32) SMU after Walker connects on both free throws. Phelps takes the handoff, spots up, knocks it down. His second three-pointer of the day, just the 3rd for the team overall.
Yeah, again, I talked about it earlier. We mentioned it, but when he's able to get that first three to go down, or an early three to go down, it really just opens up his game and his confidence.
Felton up against Williamson, gets the rebound back against a DG. And ECU wants the timeouts. Michael Schwartz does not look thrilled right now that his team trailing by 9 points, in large part due to Zurich Phelps and the effort he's had so far in the second half. Look around the American Athletic Conference on this Sunday afternoon. Micah Adams-Woods, as time expires, drain the game winner for Cincinnati as the Bearcats knock off UCF 73-71 in Orlando. Temple knocks off Tulsa, and the top two teams in this league meeting in Houston. The Cougars ranked second in the nation right now, 32-21 over Memphis. Cougars will be number one tomorrow, though, with Alabama falling earlier this week against Tennessee.
Yeah, Cougars have been number one twice already this season.
Ripped off by Walker. Two-hand jam in the emphasis.
Yeah, you saw Zurich Phelps doing it earlier for SMU, and ECU showing their version of that. So important. Again, we talked about those assists and turnovers as key to this game. Great move by Samuel Williamson, taking on three defenders, just muscles his way through.
Puts it high off the glass for two. That's 12 points now for Williamson, tied for the team lead with Odigi. ECU gets to the rack.
Felton just continues to answer. 17 points in 21 minutes of play. 7 of 13 from the field with a soft floater. It just really has emerged as a scoring option in a big way for ECU.
Ball knocked away by Johnson. Felton now rocking his hand, looking every which way, goes towards the hoop. No good.
Look who comes out of nowhere. Williamson didn't grab the rebound, but got his hands on it that led to the rebound.
Nuttall pulls back. 16 minutes remaining in regulation. Here's Phelps. Team leading 17.6 points per game for Phelps. And a whistle leading us to our first media timeout of the second half of play. Pirates clawing back. Jaden Walker with the flush. 7-point advantage for SMU. With the Mustangs leading by 7, we revisit Coach Burton's keys to the game, and they begin with free throw and three-point shooting. And Brian, from the beyond the arc, neither team has really found its stroke.
Yeah, kind of evenly matched on the 3-point, 3 for 12 and 3 for 10. But the free throw line, SMU has been able to get there and get 3 more points there. They've gotten there 9 times to ECU's 4. The assisted turnovers pretty even 11 and 10, 11 and 9. But the biggest thing has been the extra effort plays. SMU has really been consistent and really led by Samuel Williamson largely, but everyone's kind of pitched in their different ways, and that has been the differentiating factor so far to contribute to SMU's lead. The question is, we know ECU is a dangerous team. They fought back against Cincinnati down 16 in the last 10 minutes, so at no point in time is any of this lead safe for SMU. They must continue to do it for 40 minutes of play.
Rob Lanier talked about it in our conversation last night. He loves the way this team has come together, battled together, stayed connected, and part of that is the way they fight for every inch.
Yeah, he loves the way they play for each other, and no bickering, no finger pointing. Just, again, Samuel Williams again with another tip out. Doesn't lead to his team, but continues to make that concerted effort. A great finish off the glass by Walker.
Well done with the big man in his face. Jaden Walker, the transfer from Iowa State.
Great job on the closeout. Had the big man mismatch and able to just drive straight down the lane, cups it, scoops it off the glass. We've talked so much about his transfer to the point guard position in the last handful of games, and has a career high 13 points. He scored earlier this season and already has 9 and 6 assists, approaching a double-double. He's been a silent assassin in this one this afternoon.
Pirates have made 4 of their last 5 from the field. They're now within 4 of the Mustangs. Jalen Smith. He's established himself as one of SMU's hardest workers this season, and he gets to the rim.
there you see the work paying off. They keep trying to keep him kind of on one side. He's had some drives like that this game, and that time he goes up top. Similar drive by Felton, not able to finish, and SMU with the chance to push in transition.
On the sideline, tiptoe of the foot for Zach Nuttall. He's taking another look at Jalen Smith throwing it down.
Yeah, just Walker kind of keeping him on one side, and again, the sea has parted yet again, similar to Samuel Williamson's dunk. Great job to get easy baskets for SMU. They've really been able to, again, continue to just expand on their points in the paint. Over 30 points in the paint so far. That was another big one, to just get easy baskets that you don't have to work as hard for. Really a big deal for this SMU team.
Johnson hands it off by Isla. No good. Williamson recovers. We'll stay with the Mustangs.
Yeah, ECU leads the conference in offensive rebound per game. You talked about that was a big key against Cincinnati, and SMU has just done an outstanding job for the most part of really limiting them to just one shot. Only with 6 second chance points in this one, where SMU has 10. So need to continue to do a great job on the glass. ECU, I know they will want to get that going. Big part of their attack.
Felton. Phelps will go to the line. He missed his first 2 free throw attempts.
His first 2 weren't even close, if we want to be honest.
Didn't draw iron on the first.
And the thing, again, you got to give Phelps credit. He shot it well from the 3. He's made both of his triples tonight, or 2 of 3, excuse me, from 3. And usually when you see the ball go in, it helps the free throw line be a lot easier. Usually it works the reverse way. You make free throws and then it helps you make a 3. But Phelps just has not been affected even by those misses in that early air ball from the free throw line, and sinks them both, and has, again, played so well with his floor game. 5 assists and just 2 turnovers.
Adds 2 more to his total. Over 1,800 career points now for Phelps. Hit that milestone on Thursday against Houston. Knocked out of bounds. Mustang possession. And you see the head in the hands of Michael Schwartz. His team trails by 8. East Carolina trying to win in Dallas for the first time in nearly 11 years. SMU, on the other hand, they've lost 2 in a row, and 4 of their last 5, trying to get things going in the right direction. Some positive momentum ahead of the conference tournament in 2 weeks. Into Ambrose Hilton off the glass.
Great job on the base out of bounds, executing. And, you know, it's one of those things. This has not been a great season overall for SMU. And Coach Lanier is excited about the foundation that's being laid, because it's laid in playing the right way and in character and doing it together. Speaking of doing it well, Mr. Walker looks like he is almost at his career high with 12 points.
Straight away, his career high is 13. Notched that on December 2nd against the Campbell Camels. Wright. Ricardo Wright, the Marist transfer. Didn't score at all on Thursday. Puts in 3 here.
Yeah, that's a difficult shot to take, too. Shot fake, 1 dribble, step back. Speaking of difficult, the career high it is. He's going for it today. Mr. Walker with 14 points, new career highs, played really good basketball for ECU.
5 of 6 from the field. 1 3-pointer in there, plus all 3 free throws were made, totaling a career high 14 now. Phelps and Odigi with the follow.
Again, extra effort plays on the glass. Great drive by Phelps, and Odigi with the one-hand tip. Great defense by Williamson.
Knocking it free, but Odigi with an ill-advised pass. He'll have the one-on-one situation, bring in a second offensive player. But before that, ODG takes the charge.
Gotta love that about the play, though. He literally says, yeah, that was a bad pass, but didn't get a foul or a silly play. He makes a championship winning play. He says, I'm going to sacrifice my body. I'm going to get my feet above the charge line, and I'm going to take this charge to get it back. And those are the type of things that Coach Lanier loves about this young man and talks about his transformation. Earlier in the year, he would have been so frustrated that maybe he doesn't handle that the right way. Maybe that is a hard foul, and maybe he doesn't take ownership that that was a bad pass. He's pointing the finger, but right now you see him handle that adversity just like they've handled adversity this season. They've lost the last 2 games. They've had some tough stretches. They had a tough overtime, double overtime loss at Wichita State that they felt like they really should have won that game based on the score at the end of the game and having put themselves in position, and it doesn't go their way, but they continue to respond with character and togetherness, and that kind of play that FE just made is a great example of that.
Incredibly level-headed. Did not get down. Admitted the mistake, put the hand up, and established his feet. 10-point Mustang lead. Just over 12 minutes remaining. Phelps backing off the defender. Now going towards the rack. Knocked out of bounds, and that'll lead to a break. 10-point Mustang advantage over East Carolina. Sunday afternoon, American Hoops on ESPN+. The American Athletic Conference Basketball Championship returns to Fort Worth. First games on March 9th, available on ESPNU. Coverage shifts to ESPN2 later in the tournament, with the championship on Sunday, March 12th on ESPN. A great venue and obviously an easy trip for Mustang fans here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. 10-point advantage for SMU against East Carolina. Both of these teams with 4 wins in conference play, trying to break a deadlock. In addition to the Pirates and the Mustangs, South Florida also with 4 wins in the American. Chris Mykoski, Brian Burton at Moody Coliseum in Dallas.
A little bit of a errant pass from Phelps to An open ODG on the baseline out of bounds play. Taps his chest as well and said, that's a bad pass on my part. Here ECU tries to capitalize.
Wide open, Dabunje. No. ODG there for the board, his 7th. Stays on the floor. Ambrose Hilton had a man on top of him. Into the bonus, 1-and-1 situation for SMU. Ambrose Hilton had actually stepped over preparing for the rebound. I'm not the one who's supposed to be shooting. That's not me.
He loves rebounding so much. I'm just surprised that Zach Nuttall didn't step in there or Effie to shoot it for him. Most of the time, guys want a free trip to the line.
Well, Ambrose Hilton shooting 50% from the free throw line, and there we see why he wasn't too eager to step to the stripe. Mustang lead remains at 10. Johnson stepped in the way. Zurich Phelps stutter step to the hole, and a foul committed by Jaden Walker.
Yeah, nice job again in the passing lane. Something he does so well, anticipate using his length and his speed, but you also see him interior. You see him off the ball, just kind of like a free safety, waiting for that opportunity. But I love the pace in transition, not going just full speed, 100 miles an hour. Really, again, showing a lot of maturity in his growth. Coach Lanier's talked about it, the big stepping jump from being a guy who came off the bench and didn't score very many points to being the leading scorer of a ball club. There's a lot that goes into it. Sometimes he can care a little too much, and now he's learning how to also impact the game in more ways than just scoring. There you see him with an extra effort himself. Doesn't shoot the ball great from the line again, but hustles after the rebound, gets the tie-up that leads to another possession. So those are, again, the plays that earlier in the season he could have put his head down and thought, I didn't make those free throws. I'm so frustrated at myself. He moved on quickly, able to get his team an extra possession that leads to a basket by Nuttall.
Nuttall quickly receives the pass and puts it up. Stretches the lead to 12. 6 points for Nuttall. Now Felton. That's 20.
Felton is feeling 20-piece nugget with fries, he said.
Inside to ODG, motioning. Knocked away by Ozar. But SMU on the scramble keeps the basketball.
ODG did a good job getting right where he wanted to go, and he got blocked, I believe, on the way up, kind of on accident. And Ambrose Hilton may have been hard to see, but he dove on the floor to get the ball before it goes out of bounds. Gets it to Phelps, and Phelps draws the foul. Again, those are exactly the type of plays in this type of game against a team that has already beaten you. Everybody's trying to kind of get that positioning for conference play, and the extra effort SMU continues to do. And that time results in a foul, as looks like they got it on ODG.
Third foul on ODG. The only player with 4 right now is Dabunje for East Carolina.
The other part of those keys to the game we talked about is the outside shooting, and free throw shooting being a big part of it. And there you see Zurich Phelps missing his last 3 free throws, and a guy who attacks so much he gets to the line. Going to be important for SMU to tighten up their ability to shoot free throws.
Brandon Johnson on the mark. 9 points for him this afternoon to go along with 5 rebounds.
He was also our player to watch from there. He hasn't done it all game long, but big shots, and we know his capability.
Left hand for ODG. 16 points for him. He's 7 of 8 from the field.
Another takeaway by SMU. More extra effort in the passing lane that time, and great job by Zach Nuttall anticipating the transition from ECU is able to get a hand on the pass or on the ball and leads to SMU transition. And the play before that, Effie just again taking his time in the paint. We talked about him being a guy that we thought was a player to watch in this game. Important for him to have a good one, and he's been really patient offensively and really been effective as he is now at 16 points, 7 of 9 from the floor.
Under 9.5 minutes left, and Ogigi with the ball in his hands again. Off the glass. 18 now for Ogigi.
Felt like he got fouled and not able to finish. And one thing about this particular matchup, Coach Nick Matson, assistant for ECU, coached him at UTEP and said, man, Effie looks like he's in the best shape of his life. Didn't have a great game against ECU there, but has really played well in this one.
Jalen Smith, short. Felton there for the board. Pulls up, left wing triple, good. Fourth three-pointer he's made today.
Yeah, he's single-handedly taken on the challenge of willing his team to be able to stay in this game with his offensive output.
Felton 2 points away from a career high. He had 23 against Campbell on December 2nd. Nuttall kicks it back outside. Blocking call.
Bonus. Big play. I mean, could go either way in those 50-50 plays, but able to get the benefit of the doubt on that one. Left his feet. Anytime you leave your feet, you put yourself in a vulnerable position for the refs, but puts you on the line. Shooting 2 for the rest of the way. 8 minutes to go. Something to definitely note for those watching at home. Have an opportunity with any touch foul and any aggressive play, you get a chance to shoot 2 free throws the rest of the way. So ECU must defend without fouling, and SMU must find a way to continue to be aggressive to get to the line and then be able to convert.
Nuttall visiting with trainer Eric Harcourt for SMU. And that'll lead us to a timeout. SMU leading 62-55 over East Carolina. FEODG scored a season-high 21 points last Sunday at Wichita State and getting close to eclipsing that mark today. 18 so far for the transfer from Troy.
Yeah, he's been balling all afternoon long, inside, outside, getting assists. There you see a little shimmy off the glass. Wanted to get the and one. You saw the three earlier, and shooting 53% from the field in conference play. That's 1 out of 2, which is really high, and you want that from your big man, averaging 6.2 rebounds, has 18 and 7 a day, and has just played such good basketball. And there you see the part coach keeps talking about with Effie, his voice on this team. He said he has become the most vocal, consistent leader of this group. He's earned the respect. He's not even necessarily in the game right now, but still urging his team and making those points. And Coach Lanier has talked about, he just helped him lay the foundation of what they want this program going forward to be about. Men with character. Effie was a guy who was, he's already has his degree. He's a graduate student, was a valedictorian out of high school, but Coach Lanier wants to continue to attract high character young men, and he wants the young men in this program to know no matter what you face that you can overcome it. And you know, you got to give this team, again, tip your hat. Coach talked about the gut punch that they've experienced against Wichita State and that loss. Then you play the #1 team in the country in Houston and compete, but can't quite get over the hump. And here they are playing some really good basketball. Have to finish the job, but largely due to the character and togetherness of this group.
Zach Williamson hit the floor hard there, getting the athletic trainer to come over, motioning for him right now. So he will apparently come off the floor. That was a pretty good thud. And DG will check in for him. DG returning to the lineup with 18 points, 7 boards. Somebody who took some time to connect with his teammates and develop that trust in coaches. Now you just wish you had more time with him.
He said exactly that thing. Coach Lanier said, I just wish I had one more year with the big fella, because we've made so many strides. That's kind of the part of this transfer portal age. And he's glad he's had him for 1 year, though, because he said he's always welcome. He's always a part of the family. And he'll be able to come back and celebrate some of these big wins we'll have down the road with us.
He'll have to do a tour on these reunions, going to UTEP and Troy and SMU.
There he does a tour and gets a shot block and leads to transition buckets. Nice pass, nice finish for the Mustangs.
Wright scoring his 4th and 5th points. SMU out to a 10-point advantage. Phelps can't make it 12.
Right idea, just not quite the finish that they hoped for.
A little too strong from Ozar. He recovers and puts it through.
Yeah, he's been Mr. Double-Double in the last 2. Starting to play some good ball, and don't want a guy like that to get confident on the glass. One thing for him to make a shot, but him on the offensive glass is a major weapon for this ECU team.
6 points, 3 rebounds for Ozar. Short out of the hands of Ricardo Wright. Walker kicks it back outside to Brandon Johnson. Off the front of the rim, trying to save that one in front of the Pirate bench. Can't do it. And Williamson able to check back in. Just a couple minutes of taking a hard hit on the hardwood.
Important possession for SMU here. Can you continue to, again, ECU is not a team that's going to go away. Can you continue? You have the momentum. You have control of this game. Can you start to really separate to establish that you will win this game? You are in the double bonus, so you should be able to get a high percentage shot. Want to really avoid turnovers as well.
Nuttall recovers and puts it in.
Can't get more high percentage than that.
Nuttall has been unable to find his stroke from three-point land. He's 0 for 5 there, but has 3 points from inside the line.
Yeah, another
3
one of those
baskets rather inside the line to add up to 9 points.
Another one of those high-character young men Coach raves about. Doesn't define himself just on points anymore either, as he hasn't shot the ball well. It wasn't the prettiest drive, but got the offensive rebound and put back.
Felton swish from the right wing.
But that was pretty as can be. Felton has been an absolute nightmare to defend for the Mustangs. He is continuing to climb the point chart, and he is letting it fly from beyond the arc.
And that is now a career high for Felton. 26 points, eclipsing the 25 he had against Campbell on December 2nd.
Yeah, this is just a big-time one-on-one play. They love to play out of isolations, and Felton getting into his bag as he handles it off the bounce, shoots it with a hand in his face, and kind of makes one of those faces like he knew it was his kind of night.
For Felton and Walker, both now with career highs, and in both cases their previous highs had come in that game against Campbell.
Yeah, now they both have career highs against SMU. Yeah, just important. I mean, again, these conference games come down to such small margins of error. You want to try to get as much separation as you can, because 6 minutes is a lot of time left in a basketball game. And again, both these teams want to find a way to get that 5th conference win, put themselves playing in a position where they can be even more confident, have an even better seed going into the conference tournament.
67-60, SMU over East Carolina. Under 6 minutes to go in regulation from Moody Coliseum in Dallas.
They love this
hands it off to Nuttall.
Nice pass.
Finding a wide open Jalen Smith. Ozar comes over to defend and gets called for the foul, his 3rd.
Yeah, they love to run that dribble handoff where Effie kind of plays as a point center and kind of goes and hands it off to Nuttall. Likes to turn the corner, going to his right hand and playing downhill, and that time was able to draw 2 defenders on a spin move. Kicked it to Smith, who drove a closeout and draw a foul. And that's just good offensive basketball. And now it's all about that key we talked about early in the game. How well can SMU and ECU continue to shoot the basketball from the free throw line and the three-point line?
Jalen Smith, 6 points for him thus far. He started the season's first 2 games, then came off the bench for SMU until late December. Now back in the starting lineup for the last 7. 69-60 SMU. And Ozar will get shots from the line. His first trip to the stripe.
Yeah, again, going back to Walker, we talked about him getting his career high, but now he's going back to that assist playmaking mode. He's the one that made that pass, made the read, put his teammate in position. It may not go in the stats as an assist, but Walker has really been a silent impact player in this game and doing it on both ends of the floor, scoring, assists, and defense.
And he really came out of a slump the first time these teams played each other. Had 19 points, 13 rebounds. That was his first career double-double back on February 4th.
Talk about another guy who's gotten his career high against SMU. The young man that was just at the line had his career high just on February 4th against SMU, and his first start of his career and first double-double as well. Approaching the 5-minute mark, which is big time in coaches' minds of winning time.
Knocked away. He'll stay with the Mustangs.
Anytime it gets in that 5-minute mark, all those little possessions just add up and mean even more. There's more implication. Want to really do a good job executing both offense and defensive game plan. And it's also player time where players step up and make plays that, whether it's in the play design or not, it is time for players to be able to make plays in this winning time.
Williamson backs off, knocks it down. He's up to 14.
And there's one we just talked about. That's not something that you designed for him to shoot that exact shot. That is Samuel Williamson saying, we want to win this game. I'm going to make a play.
Felton from inside the arc. Call against Wright.
Felton right now is like that headache that just won't go away. You keep taking the Advil and it just keeps coming back. The young man is doing a great job. And there you see Williamson with a little a la Dirk Nowitzki off 1 foot. Shout out to Dirk getting the new statue. Have you seen the statue yet?
I have not.
I haven't either. I got to see the statue.
We're not too far away from it. Maybe we should take a little road trip after the game. Go to Victory Plaza in front of the American Airlines Center. Now, my college basketball schedule for work is so busy, I have not attended a Mavericks game yet this year.
Yes, I have not.
So it's a blessing and a curse,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. But it's not going anywhere. That's why it's a statue, so you'll be able to see it.
Smith from the baseline. Good. SMU increases the lead to 12.
Zurich Phelps, ladies and gentlemen, with his career high now. We've been talking about career highs. Career high in assists. A double-double for the young man from Duncanville. 12 points and 10 assists. His 10th assist. And you talk about maturation. I don't know if most people that watch SMU games first semester would have seen that, because he wasn't showing signs he was going that direction. But credit to the staff and credit to that young man as he does a heat check. Off the glass, the bank is open on Sunday. Here we are in Dallas. And I didn't know the banks are still open, but apparently they are.
The perfect call for that moment, Coach, as SMU increases the lead to 77-62. Zurich Phelps, everything working today off the backboard and in for the Ponies. Quick 6 points for SMU over the last 30 seconds, stretching the lead to 77-62 over the Pirates. And Zurich Phelps now with a double-double, 15 points and a career high 10 assists for the Ponies. And you mentioned it earlier, Coach, his ability, that court vision that has really improved. It's been a wonder to watch today.
Yeah, and again, you just have to give credit to Coach Lanier and his staff. You know, it hasn't been the the season they probably hoped and wanted it to be, but the important thing is they continue to focus on the bigger picture and the development of a guy like Zurich Phelps that gives you somebody to build around that can not only make plays for himself, but is now making plays for others. And on both ends of the floor, gives you a bright future for the Mustang basketball program.
Offensive board, second chance opportunity for Walker, and he'll head to the free throw line. Phelps, just a sophomore, hailing from Duncanville. Texas High School Player of the Year there with the Panthers. And as a coach, you don't just look for those impressive numbers in high schools. You look for winners.
Oh, absolutely.
You certainly won so with one of those with DHS.
Yeah, and talking to the staff for ECU prior to the game, they talked about what's the most important thing. We asked was what's the most important thing to Coach Schwartz as far as building the culture of this program. And he said care factor, which kind of goes into that winning makeup, winning attributes, because winners understand what it takes and they care about all those little things. And Walker, you can see he's a guy that they really embrace and have enjoyed coaching, as he has done everything he can to help this team win.
Both of these coaches subscribe to these same attributes, given they come from the same coaching tree under Rick Barnes.
Rick Barnes is pretty good last I checked, too. Just got a big win against Alabama, as you mentioned earlier. Speaking of big, Samuel Williamson with the chin up and a big offensive rebound as they expand on this lead as it gets closer to duration of time. And great finish, quick score. Find a way to keep getting stops.
79-65 SMU as teams trade buckets. Under 3 minutes left. And a foul along the scorer's table to the far side. SMU has made 5 of its last 6 from the field, and now they'll step to the free throw line. Double bonus situation. 57.9% from the charity stripe today for the Mustangs in total.
Yeah, when you speak
Phelps is 2 of 7.
Yeah, I was just about to say, when you speak about the growth of players as it goes, we've talked about Felton for ECU and how much he's really stepped up his game. We've talked a lot about Samuel Williamson, FEODG, and obviously Zurich Phelps. The one area that Zurich Phelps really wants to continue to get better at is that you are a guy who slashes and gets to the foul line so much. Becoming a great free throw shooter is going to be so important. But when you have teammates like Samuel Williamson that continue to get your back and continue to get more rebounds, it makes it easier. But in most games, you really need to be efficient from the foul line, especially as a guy who's going to initiate so much offense and create so much for this SMU team.
Williamson with that board off the free throw has 8 rebounds now, closing in on a double-double as he has 16 points. 4 Mustangs scoring in double figures today, led by FEODG, 18 for him. Williamson 16, Phelps 15, and Smith has 10.
Nuttall's not far away with 9. The whole starting lineup close to double figures, and there you see Mr. Nuttall, that is number 10. So you have all 5 players in the starting lineup getting double figures in a huge, I don't know if they've had a game this season that they've been able to do that exact thing. And credit to the growth and the continued buy-in from these young men to not quit, not put their head down, not start pointing fingers. You see that happen so much in conference play when it's this time of year. Guys just start playing for themselves or maybe not really wanting to play for each other. But it's, again, really impressive what this staff has been able to do. Although, the output of the number of wins hasn't been what they wanted. You got to be able to respect and appreciate the growth of this team as the seasons continue to go on.
Williamson in traffic. Call against Walker. His 4th personal. That's now 3 Pirates carrying 4 personal fouls. Ozar, DeBoonjay. Rather, Debunje, Walker, and Viola.
And kind of speaking to that, it's like why are they talking about togetherness? Does that really matter? Well, you think about, again, this day and age of college basketball, the transfer portal, so many new guys that come that are proven, that have a track record, that want to come in and establish themselves, but you almost start all over again, and that can be hard to do because of egos and maybe what your expectations were. So to be able to continue to gel as this thing goes on and through adversity says a lot about the leadership and the young man and what they want to do in the long run.
ODG and Ozar fighting for the board, and ODG hits the ground.
Not an easy guy to throw down.
No.
I think he was hoping he'd get a foul to be able to shoot some more free throws to add to his point total, but ref saw it as a jump ball instead. ECU has an opportunity to.
Force of a 6'8", 245-pound young man hitting the floor. I felt the aftershock all the way over here. Rattles out, and Williamson there for the board.
Williamson's so consistent on the glass. He's really been impressive. We talk about a translatable skill that can continue to not only help him at this level, but can help him at the next level and having opportunities. Rebounding the basketball is always something. As Kawhi Leonard would say, board man gets paid, and he has really bought into that philosophy.
Minute and 30 seconds left. SMU can make the lead 20 on this trip down the floor, but Nuttall steps on the baseline.
We usually know as coaches, certain players, when they dribble past a certain number of dribbles, something good is not coming next. So Zurich probably over dribbled on that position. I mean, excuse me, Zach probably over dribbled on that possession, led to a turnover.
Knocked away by Williamson. Williamson. Posterizing Jake Walker.
Takes flight again. The young man from Rockwall doing it for the second time. That time he got an official poster. Last time might have been a poster. That was an official poster right there. You got to give it to him for challenging the defender and saying, you know what, you're going to have to fly with me on this one.
Take it, print it, sell it in the SMU gift shop.
Could have maybe even been an and one. As good as Walker's been, that was not his play, as Samuel may have that in his room. He might even save it for when his kid, you know, when he has kids one day, just, hey, this is your dad, you know.
Look at what I could do.
Yeah, just keep it in his room. So, yeah, you just got to, again, 9 of 10 from the floor, according to our stat, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals. Just done it all in 29 minutes. Again, the continued growth. You talk about a guy who's a McDonald's All-American. He's as talented as anyone coming out of high school. Was tabbed as the next Jason Tatum by some. In other videos, he may have been tabbed as the next Klay Thompson because he could really shoot the basketball. Coach Lanier talked about him having a surgery when he was at Louisville. Kind of lost a little bit of nerve feeling in his hand, his shooting hand, so he doesn't impact the game the way he used to be able to impact. And he came to Coach after the Wichita State loss the first time and said, Coach, I feel like it's my fault we're losing some of these games. If I was the player I once was, we wouldn't be losing these games. And credit to the connection of those two men. Coach Lanier able to help him redefine who he can be to be impactful. And you're seeing it on full display as he is efficient as he's ever been, 90% from the floor, and really has been impressive, almost at a double-double.
A new season high, surpassing the 19 he had just a week ago against Wichita State. 20 points for Williamson, 9 of 10 from the field, 9 rebounds to go along with it. And he heads to the bench for the final 60 seconds, so likely will not be able to pick up that double-double.
Yeah, no matter who you're fans of, if you're a fan of basketball and a fan of young men, you appreciate the story of a young person who can overcome a personal adversity and challenge and really kind of find a new definition of himself and step into some confident moments. So you just got to root for young men and young people that can be able to do those type of things. And Samuel Williamson, got to give that young man credit, and glad for him to be able to have a night like tonight.
Eyes are playing tricks on me. I must see the end of that last huddle, but Williamson now is heading to the bench and will in fact not be able.
I think your eyes were right. I think he thought he was out.
Okay,
but that's then he came back in at the last minute.
That's what it was. At the last second there on that last stanza, returned to the lineup, but now in fact is done for the day.
And what a big show-up performance by SMU as Walker continues to add to his career high. What a big performance by SMU to be able to, again, respond. They lost 2 in a row. ECU coming in with the same amount of wins, but they won 2 in a row. So, you know, that team is playing hot. You lost to them at their place. They just came off a huge win against Cincinnati that was a heartfelt, inspirational win because of the loss of their member of their broadcast team that we mentioned earlier. And SMU responds to the challenge again, gets a almost 20-point win, 5 guys in double figures. Really does the job against Coach Lanier, does the job against his former running mate at Tennessee with Coach Barnes, Coach Schwartz.
These teams will split their regular season series. Potential for a matchup in a couple of weeks in Fort Worth. At the conference tournament. 2 more weeks of jockeying for seeding before heading to Dickey's Arena. But SMU, the winner today, 86-70 over East Carolina. The Mustangs